Welcome to Promote, Profit, Publish. I'm your host, Juliet Clark, and today's going to be kind of a fun interview. But before we jump into it, remember to go over to www.breakthroughauthormagazine.com. It's a free subscription, and it is a group of experts who give you all sorts of tips and tricks about publishing and platform building and brand building and media and all those things that make up a platform, as well as highlights on some of our authors who have really built good platforms and done a great job. So today's guest is Alia Biswas. And Alia is a senior at Scripps College, majoring in media studies with a concentration in critical analysis. Alia's interests also include video production and analysis of types of media such as science fiction novels and films. With a minor in religious studies, Alia will be graduating in spring 2022. Wait, you graduated already?
No, sorry, I guess it's written wrong. This upcoming year.
Oh, okay, 2020.
Yeah.
Wait, how are we doing this?
No, not yet.
With extensive theoretical knowledge to analyze media in the US. So the reason we're having Alia on today is Alia was our summer intern. So, and she did a fabulous job. Now she's going to be jetting off to Greece, which Chris and I are really jealous because we just have to work. So that's the way it is. So Welcome, Alia.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Yeah.
Yes, we also have Chris Johnson on, our book developer, and as many of you know, Sarah's kind of out for the summer, so we're not going to have Sarah on this one for input, but Alia did work with Sarah for a couple weeks as well. So, did you learn anything?
Just a few things. No, I feel like I've been introduced to this whole new world. Like, I love it.
It's
been amazing.
So
yeah.
Is it what you thought it would be?
I feel like you gave a good introduction to me. And so I feel like you did like prepare me well, like just in our initial conversations about the internship. Like I definitely wasn't surprised, but I loved most that I got to work with each of you just a little bit at least, and got to see the different aspects and sides of it. I think that was probably the most exciting part of it, for sure. Getting to see the different aspects.
Well, I will say now, I did not see the video on your resume, so you and I are going to talk afterwards because I might have a video project for you. So you got to work. So what did you work on with Sarah? You worked on content. Did you write articles and social media posts? What did you do over there?
Yeah, I mainly did articles, a few social media posts, but I think the most exciting was I worked on some Canva social media posts for this awesome book. It was really fun. I got to work on the graphics and the branding, you know, making things fit to the author's like, and also like professional. And it was really fun.
Was that Leslie Michaels' book? I think
yeah.
To work on? Yeah. So in fact, her book is coming out. We're recording this on July 18th, even though it won't be out until I think August or September. But Leslie's book is releasing 7/26. So exciting. So then you went over to Chris, and I have to share with you, you edited part of my son's book. And there was this huge conversation at a party about whether his characters, his demi-human characters, were furries. Because you read one portion of it, you edited, and then we got to the furries, and he was horrified that you thought it was furries. But it was a whole conversation between the family about, my son-in-law is an avid reader, and it was really funny because he's like, well, the furry people are awkward and odd, but they might actually be readers. So tell us a little bit about what you did, but you know, with Chris, besides dash my son's hope.
Interject here that I thought it was really good for Tyler, because I worked with him on, this is part 3 of his book, and I worked with him extensively on parts 1 and 2, and I've worked a lot with him on character development and how to, you know, present things in a way that makes it clear, and that authors hear this. It is the job of the author to make it clear. It is not the job of the reader to figure it out.
Right.
And that doesn't, it's nonfiction or fiction.
Yeah.
So the fact that this objective person that he hadn't heard from before, that wasn't me, said that to him, he heard it and he realized, oh, so that was a good learning experience for Tyler.
It was a really good learning experience, but it was also, I mean, when I think you and I talked recently, Chris, about there was a lawsuit and somebody interviewed for a job and then, you know, totally dressed for the job interview and then showed up as a furry and took the company to court because they wouldn't let him or her be a furry at the office. There's this huge lawsuit because they were front-facing individuals. So it was just really interesting to have this conversation about the furries too. So Alia, what did you actually learn?
No, I honestly, I think, you know, working with Chris has been so much fun because I have learned so many skills that can be applied to fiction, nonfiction, like any type of storytelling. So, you know, we talked in the beginning a lot about narrative structure, you know, how to build tension, the issues when you do shift POVs in a fiction book, and all these different elements to working through someone's writing where, you know, it may make what they're trying to communicate a little murky. And so I feel like I've learned a lot of like practical, like real life skills of like, okay, how can we change this so the message is even clearer? So my favorite part has just been learning how to help people, you know, communicate more effectively so they can actually, you know, reach that wider audience they want to. And I've loved it. Yeah, I feel so much more capable now that, you know, after working on a few books and just listening, having meetings. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's really good. And Chris, I think I have much the same problem Tyler has. I know you're going through and fixing. I have to tell you, the one thing I love about Alia that I don't like about you, Chris, no, I'm just kidding, is when Alia edits my work, she just corrects it all. So I get it back and I go, oh my God, I'm improving as a writer. I had no mistakes.
I know I have that teacher thing in me where I have to explain it to you, like, Juliet.
Which was really helpful for me.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. And that's what makes Chris such a wonderful book developer is being a former school teacher. You know, she does approach it and explain from, like, if you don't get it the first time, she'll come back with another way to explain it, which I think is really a gift because, believe it or not, folks listening, writing is tough. It's not just putting stuff down on paper. There's a lot to it. And then you add in that piece that for a lot of writers, while they're writing their book, they're also healing something. So there can be, we have a book right now that we're going to let go because there's so much ego attached to what's going on in the book. And when I say ego, that's where, you know, there's no willingness to learn the craft. It's just more, it's almost like going to a party and me just kind of barfing my problems on you, and that's what kind of happens in the book.
And then it's, you don't understand, instead of, if I don't understand, then you, the author, have to fix it. So because if I don't get it and I'm, you know, hearing from you what's going on, what do you think is going to happen with your readers who don't have that going on? They're just going to move on to the next book. So we want our authors to grow as writers, in addition to doing really well with their published works, so that they can go and recreate more books.
Right. So Alia, what are you going to do with all this? Like, are you afraid to go into the publishing world? Are you changing your major and like getting a doctorate or something else?
No, luckily I feel really empowered. Like, I feel actually a lot more excited about graduating because I've been introduced to the real world outside of academia. And Chris and I were talking about, you know, all these different avenues and things I can take after, since I do graduate so soon. And, I feel like there's so much for me to learn outside the classroom. So, whether that is working with more books or, in content development or screenwriting, or I don't know, whatever it is, like I don't have a, for sure plan, but I think now I have more interest to pursue and a bit more confidence with it. So I feel good. I feel good about it.
So I think one of the things you learned in this process too is you had helped the professor edit his book, but I think you learned that there's a lot that goes into that author platform too. Would that be correct? Like you really didn't go into that before. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think, when I first even was just looking at super brand publishing and the website and everything, that's when I was first seeing this like growing theme of like, that is really what authors have to do, is they have to build a platform consciously. And in everything I've done since, like, it's so clear how, in all the articles I've written or, other podcasts I've watched, it really comes through as like this shining message of like, it's not something you can ignore. And I think authors get really intimidated by, having to do things beyond their little book. But I think the most empowering thing I've seen is that, and learned from you guys, is that it's about centering you and realizing that like as the author, you are the thing. Your book is an extension of you, and that's great. But when you focus on you being the actual center of where the message is coming from, it helps you elevate all these other things you're doing creatively, whether that's workshops or, whatnot. And it allows a much more easier experience to be like, oh, I'm not selling a book, I'm selling myself. And I think that's what's so interesting.
Yes, it is. And it's so interesting. Actually, today, when we're recording this, we had someone that was introduced to us last week, and he didn't buy a publishing package because he hasn't finished the book, but he actually bought the media package. And Jackie was able to get him on a nationally syndicated show within a week. So he's actually recording that show today. And when you say that focus on you, that's what we're talking about, is you're not out there promoting your book while you're building the platform. You're out there promoting your expertise. So, now Dr. Finster is going to be all over TV. He's written many books before, but they've never really gotten traction. So now he's willing to open this up and try this way. And what his book is about is supposedly the food war of 2023 and 2024. So it is an important topic. But that's one of the things, building the platform. That's something where he was never really, it kind of, his media appearances were kind of, hey, why don't you go do this? And now he has somebody who's actually getting him on TV and getting him on podcasts and getting him on radio and actually pushing that to the forefront. So it is really important. And that's where I think authors get really messed up in this process, is they wait until that book is done, then they're promoting their book and not themselves. And you guys in the last week have gotten to edit the articles for the October author platform building challenge that we're doing. So you can kind of see through that there are 8 pillars there, and you have to be promoting yourself to be able to promote the 8th one. So it's Billy. Was that a surprise for you going through those articles, Alia, that there was so much and it all has to be integrated?
I feel like everything, like all the work you guys do, like the message is so clear. Like it's really come through in like all of our conversations. And so I wouldn't say it's so surprising. I think it definitely makes sense. And I feel good that it makes sense to me now. Like I feel like I've really gotten it,
Well, good deal. So what's next? What do you want to do after school?
Maybe I think I would like to learn more about what Chris and I have talked about, of like these like elements of writing that can be applied to any form of storytelling, so narrative structure, how to build tension, how to create complex characters. Like I think that's really interested to me like right now, and I think I would love to pursue that in any form. So whether that is like reading manuscripts for books, or, looking at the like pilot episode of shows, or I like any form. I mean, obviously I'm a media studies major, so I love all types of media. Like I'm not limited to one. And so storytelling is just what fascinates me, and we're telling stories everywhere. So it's a pretty broad range, but I'm excited.
So tell me about the science fiction part of this.
Yeah, it's actually on my mind a lot because I'm writing my thesis next semester. And so that's another reason why this summer's been really helpful, because I do feel more confident in my writing. I feel like I've been, becoming a faster editor and all these things that will be helpful for writing my first like major academic paper. But science fiction is not only one of my favorite genres, but also something I'm going to be going into more for my thesis. I'm taking this class on humans and AI, robots. And so I'm getting interested in all these old things I used to love. Like my sister just gave me the book that I'm trying to think of what the movie is called. Just this book that this big science fiction movie was based on. And so I'm like going into all these things from the 80s, and it's been fun, and I'm gonna continue to do that next semester. So yeah.
It's also very scary because if you, I think Chase Cunningham was before you got to edit, but Chase Cunningham's book, he is in the know about these things. And when we were talking, he gave me a Lockheed video to watch about murder bots, because I was like, is this real? And he's like, yeah, this is real. This could happen.
I edited that book last summer, and I spent the whole summer looking up like gee, I hope this doesn't happen.
But also too, like the drones, the murder bots. Like I remember reading a book a long time ago, probably 10, 12 years ago now, that was talking about, drones that were literally like a fly on the wall. And so it's kind of creepy to think we're all, I mean, now it's just the AI listening to us. They don't need a little drone to fly around and, get smashed with the fly swatter, but it's a creepy world out there.
Yeah.
Well, good deal. Good deal. So, what are you going to do in Greece? Do you want to share? Are you going?
Yeah.
Are you going with a boy?
Yes, I am meeting his family. So yeah, doing the first meet the family. We'll see how it goes.
And it's an island, so if you don't like them, you can't escape. You have to, right?
Yes, my dad has reminded me, like, if you need a ticket out quick, you can get one. I am there for 3 weeks, so got an extended stay planned. But I'm really excited. Yeah, we're going to a few islands, gonna meet his extended family, try and speak some Greek.
And how's that going?
Probably could have been going better if I studied, a few hours a day, but I think, I can like introduce myself. I can say hello, and I think I'll pick it up more as I'm around people who are all speaking Greek, a bit more pressured into learning. So
the basics, high beer, whatever the local drink is, whatever the food is, the bathroom, that's all you need, and the beach.
Yeah.
Beware of ouzo.
Don't do ouzo. Oh my God, I've been ouzo since college. Wow. Where did that come from? Is there a story you'd like to tell us about that, Chris?
I spent a month in Greece when I was about her age. And I've never been a drinker, so I didn't actually try it, but I witnessed what could happen with ouzo. And I thought, I'm really glad I'm not drinking that. Wow. Because there was some pretty scary stuff.
That sounds like my college career and the trash can parties where you just buy a big trash can and everybody had to bring a pint and pour it in. So lots of sick people, a lot of people that didn't remember the party, but it was a cheap way to have a party because we didn't have to survive the liquor. So on that note, I feel like we should end this interview. Well, Alia, thank you. It's been an honor to have you this summer.
Oh yeah, very much. I'm going to miss you.
I know.
I'm going to talk into her. I'm like, so when you're done with your thesis, you want to come back?
No, we've been trying to figure out a way to hire you, but we're not sure. We have no budget. We're like Rick D's in the morning, which is probably way before your time. They will say this show has no budget.
Well, we have till she finishes her thesis to,
Oh, okay. So when's that? March of 2023?
I'll be done by December.
Why do you have to wait till March to graduate?
No, I graduate May, but I'll be done with my thesis after my first semester. So by the start of the new year, I will not be working hard away on that big paper.
yeah, that's a big deal.
I
Yeah.
remember my senior project in college took forever, and I don't even remember what it was on at this point. I had
It took me
we had to have a senior project to get out of
Yeah.
college.
It took me a
Just
year
for
to
our
write
bachelor's.
it took me a year to write my thesis when I did my master's. So I think a semester is pretty ambitious.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
We'll see.
Well, thank
Hopefully
you,
I get it with
ladies,
honors.
and
Yeah.
for all of you out there, I hope you got something out of it, and I hope Alia got something out of working with us this summer.
Definitely.
Yeah, we loved having you, Alia.
You did.
Thank you so much. You guys have been great teachers. I've loved all this so much. Thanks
Well,
for
send us
having
pictures
me.
from Greece.
Definitely.
Okay.
You don't have nude beaches there, right? No nude.
No.
Yeah. If you do that, we probably won't hire you. No.
No.